All right, dude.
You're right.
It's a little bit different inside from what we last saw in the last episode. The highs, the lows. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened, and this video isn't going to be smooth, well shot, because I'm going to be honest and say there's a lot more stress than I was expecting. Few hindrances, things have happened, lives, everything like that, but we're now actually operational. So what's actually gone on? First up, we started to get all the battening and all the wood. Everything's great. So we've done the installation, we're putting the battening up, ready to be able to put our cladding on top. So we're looking at the different wood battens that we're going to need to get to be able to put like the timber in. So, because this was what the cladding will attach to. So we need to find some that is over 2 meters in height.
This guy.
1844 width. Yeah, get me a piece. That's good looking. Yeah, that's tall enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about 2 of yous. So we got cutting all of our different joists. This was the timber that was going onto the protruding parts of the walls. So on the inside of the van, you could attach the cladding, and it wasn't just screwing into bare metal. These were the wooden panels that you could screw into. Cut a load of them, numbered them up. You're like, I know about strutting my stuff.
I put on Staying Alive and walked down the street with a painter.
Strutting your stuff. Gonna be like, yay. Now this is where it gets a bit more of a challenge. Because if you come round on this side, we've got an edge or a lip that it generally screws into. However, the issue on this side is we've got trunking. Is it in the way? I think we're just gonna have to rest on that, but the last screw will be there and it'll be pushing against that. What do you reckon? That's just how we're gonna have to do it. There's not much other choice. These will be fine to just go up to there because the cladding is only gonna go up to that line, isn't it? Or we're gonna cover the trunking.
No, I think we go up to the trunking.
Or do we take the trunking off and go behind it? So we got ahead with screwing. Paul would hold up one of the beams and push it in to try and flex it as much as possible while I screwed it in. We tried to just screw a couple of them straight in, realising then we needed to actually screw pilot holes. So it was always 2 screws, 2 drill parts per hole, really. So it took a little while, but teamwork makes the dream work. We got stuck to it and managed to get all of the joists in one day. So it was pretty good.
Then we had the daunting task of starting the electrics and attaching the smart charge relay to the main van battery and running everything else through the inverter, the switches, the lights, all that malarkey. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought it'd be a lot easier than it was.
Sounds like I just broke it, didn't it? Did I? No, I didn't. Whew. Okay, all right, so now we need to get access to the battery, which is under that panel there. So let's move this out of the way. Oh, joy of joys. Let's get this. Can you help guide it a little bit? That's it. Now we've got the paneling off, and the good thing is we've got the cabling going somewhere under the seat. So I reckon we have a look underneath the seat and see if we can see where it might be going. Okay, so we've got the cabling from over here, out from the back, underneath this here. Oh, I don't want to get too many kinks in it, or any kinks in it. That can go under there. Now this has got to go through here and out the other side. Okay. Internal cable routing. Let's go. This is not going go in and it will go round and just slide through to the other side like, come on. And things were going pretty well, to be fair. We wired in the first bit. We managed to make it look amazing. To be fair, Paul's routing skills were incredible. He managed to get everything in nice and smoothly. Everything was looking great. But then we found out that the cable gauge was actually too thin. So we had to take that all out and rewire it. So we are wiring in the lights. We've got one more strip to add in. So I have 4 LED strips running the length of the van. Nice and bright. Ooh. So we're gonna wire everything in. I've got these awesome little connector clips here that just clip onto the end of our LED strips, along with some red wire and some clips, some other amazing clips. This is awesome. I'm not an electrician, so this is revolutionary for me. For other people it might not be, but basically it's like a little T-junction. And because I'm running this circuit in parallel where it's going all the way round and returning the circuit, and all of these lights are breaking off the main wiring circuit so you don't get any dip in the light, it just means I can clip them in situ. Just go clip them in. They've got little blades in them that cut into the wire, so you don't even need to strip the wires, and then that just runs straight onto the LEDs and clips into the end of these. So I'm going to strip these wires I have here. I've done it by order, where I've got the red going to the positive and black going to the negative. Come on, simple stuff, isn't it, really? So let's go red into positive. So you just need to strip this wire right here, strip it like that. Got a little naked wire. Okay. These slide into my clips on the right side. So this side is the positive. And they squeeze into these little groovy grooves. It's a lovely rainy day, as per usual, as we find. They go into this little housing here, right like that. This clips over, and if you don't hold it right, they fall out. But if you hold it correctly, they clip into place. Use my trusty Nepex pliers to give it a squeeze, give it a tug. It's tight like a tiger. So now we need to cut into the main circuit here. So I need to get this clip right here, goes forwards, goes into there, black one goes into there, then you just squeeze it. Simple as that, but needs a little bit of encouragement. We give it until we get a click. And that there cuts into wire and creates feed out of it. I've now got to click the other bits into the end of this, which I've got to unclasp. Fun times. So yeah, I'll show you when it's all wired in. For the moment, we've wired everything in theory, to some degree. So Paul is just taking up the floor in the front to be able to wire in the battery to the actual main starter battery. And then we can do a test. So we've wired everything into here. Have a look at our little crappy tiny space because we've got so much stuff in here. Essentially, this is our split charge relay. Mega fuse is there. It's all wired in. We've also wired in the lights temporarily without a fuse just to be able to test if they work or not. Annoying that light's on, which that light should show on when it's charging, which is over here, but we've not plugged it into the mains of the starter battery. So we have to wait, plug it into the starter battery, turn the engine on, and it should change on the system. That light should change. So now Paul should plug this in and the light should turn off, I believe. And then that light should come back on when it's charging the battery. Wish us luck. This hasn't been easy. Lighting. So I'll also show you what I managed to get done the other day. So if we look, we've got all the LED light strips wired in across, ready for when the cladding goes in. So right now it looks like a shanty town with all this stuff, which is far from ideal. And we're working, if you have a look, with our cabinets, all our stuff in here. So we're really limited to this much floor space. Wonderful, cool.
Do you want me to start it properly?
Oh yeah, you need to. Yay! The green light came on! The green light came on, the lights are not on, which at the moment isn't a great sign, but let's let it charge up a bit. We've got the green light on, so it's charging, which is great. Alright, so smart charge relay is working, that's a success. Lights, they're not on at the moment. Obviously these are the lights that are on at the moment are the ones that are for the van itself. So Paul, if I hand you the camera. Okay, so we got smart charge relay on, green light charging, things are working. I mean, I probably did just touch wires, which didn't get an electric shock, so something's going right. No! Oh no, the lights, wait. Is there a switch on this? Oh!
Blue.
We got blue light. Oh! We got lights! Wow, that's actually alright. Look at that! That's bloody marvellous! Wow! Oh, it was all worth it! I almost feel like crying, genuinely feel like crying. It's been a... Wow, look at that, I can't even see outside. That's how good they are. Look at that dimmer. Oh, mood lighting. This is for when we get saucy. Whoa! That feels amazing. Wow, good stuff. Well done, Paul. Can I get a fist bump? Boom. Look at that, guys. Now onto the cladding. Let's go.
So we've managed to get it all wired in. The battery was in, the inverter was in, the lights were in, hanging down all over the place. But we actually managed to get light, and what a moment that was. But there was one big problem. We didn't have a fuse.
Really annoyingly having some issues where I've wired in the lights, tested them, they work, but as soon as I put them through the fuse, it keeps on popping fuses. Now I've worked out the fuse size in theory I need, because this is meant to be 8 watts per meter divided by 12 volts, and then times by 1.25, which suggests 10. And I'm popping 30s. I don't know what's going on. I'll do some internet research and figure it out. And then I'm going to put in a 5 amp fuse, because I believe this... Oh! So the old switch actually blew up, was just like right there, and it was, yeah, pretty gnarly. But we got a new one. Oh, the power of the babe. I heard my baby crying hard as babe. You know, dance magic dance from Labyrinth. What a tune. This is Adam on a wild one. Okay, negative to negative. I feel like a mad scientist right now. I've lost it today. I needed to lose it today. Letting go is the key. Letting go is the answer. Huh?
That's on.
But no
We've
lights.
got the blue light coming out the switch. And then we've got blue light.
But I might. Great. Okay. Did it just blow this? Something just melted on this again. Just, there's really some things that are concerning me and on my mind that on the surface, whenever you're doing content creation and videos, it always looks, oh, you get the cut edited bit. Oh, it's really nice and easy and there's no stress. When in actual fact, there's loads of little stresses. So I've been losing sleep to some degree because we need to be operational and running and earning money. We've got a loan to pay back within a time frame. We have to start paying that back in March and we're already almost at the end of February. We've got loads of different things involved. We're trying to balance doing jobs, which is stressful. We don't want to turn anyone away because we've had friends and people who are interested in work. And again, if you want to get a service, you don't want to be told, oh, just wait a month when we're up and running. You kind of go, well, I've used your services before and I want to make sure that you're able to do the job. I have the trust in you. And that's kind of what we run off. We rely on trust with our customers. You know, people want our services specifically because we do the job and we're honest and we're good prices, we're good understanding, and I'll even educate people as much as best I can to be the master of their own bike. It sounds like an issue because you're going to tell someone how to fix their own bike when they're getting paid. But ultimately, I want to make sure that people are going away with something else. So things like we've bought the cladding at 3 meters. Now the load length of our van is 3 meters. However, the ceiling to the front isn't exactly 3 meters. It's actually about 17 centimeters short. So we've got to put the cladding in and we've got to then run it back and we've got to find a way to trim up the back. We've got things like we're doing the electricities, which is fine, but it's just taking longer than we wanted to. So we've wired everything in. We wired everything in once. Turns out it was too narrow a cable. Ordered new kits and the other one back. Got the correct cable size, wired it all in. I built a box to put the battery and the inverter on. It's too wide for our cabinet, so I've now had to redesign it. We've got Paul in the back now who's actually just sawing and cutting and fitting all those pieces. And every day wasted is just pushing us back and back and back. I've obviously got childcare kind of constraints, same with Paul. It's half term, so essentially I haven't been able to do a lot this week, and everything we have to do is in the evenings in the lovely fucking British weather and rain. So it's getting a bit stressful, some of it. And I think the reality is it's not as plain sailing. So ultimately we're in a position where we've got to get the wiring sorted. That's the numero uno. Paul's being really good and reminding me that we just need to take it step by step. But ultimately we need to get the wiring in, which we're super close to the end right now. We're like almost finished putting the wiring in. Testing the lights. At the moment we don't know if they work. And then that could be a whole nother issue where we've got to start rewiring everything. We've got to find a way to mount our cabinets to the floor, and that means drilling into the floor and working that out, which is difficult because we don't have a clear solution. We can't necessarily take the floor up, so there's various things we're going to have to figure out and work out where the struts and the straight and the sort of raised parts are. It's not easy. Doing this isn't easy. People can spend 8,000 to 10,000 GBP USD on doing a van fit out, and we're doing it ourselves in order for it to look better and more bespoke. Materials aren't cheap. They're getting more and more expensive, but that stress is going to be all worth it once we're up and running. So I'm trying not to lose sleep. I'm trying not to worry about it. We're trying to juggle everything and make it work. But we've got to buy countertop still. We've got to fit the cabinets in. We've got to mount them to the walls. But the main thing we've got to do right now, so first things first is electric. Second thing is getting all the cladding on and finishing off the last bits of insulation, stuffing it into there. Wish us luck. We're getting there. We're getting there. It led to, honestly, quite a few sleepless nights for me. I did everything I could. You'll see I tried to figure out the electrics in so many ways because all it took was putting a fuse in to start blowing fuses. Things started going wrong. I couldn't solve it. it really got to me. But we figured it out after probably 4 blown up switches, like on fire switches, and we actually got there. We now have 3 beautiful strip LEDs running off 2 switches. Don't ask why 2 switches. That's all you need to know. Getting really stressed, losing sleep, because the electrics, we kept on blowing switches. Don't know why, kept on blowing fuses, just for a basic LED 12 volt light system. But after a lot of deliberation and buying stuff off Amazon that didn't give enough information, we figured it out. So there's wattage and ampage going through it. And essentially, it's one or the other. I'm either too much current or too much wattage for each of the switches for the 4 light strips we want to have on the ceiling. So now what I've done is I've ordered 2 switches and I'm going to have 2 circuits. So I'm going to have to run a circuit with the lights that are closest to one side and the lights that are closest to the other side of another circuit, so it doesn't overload it. But it's so stressful because basically limits to what we can do. The cladding started to go up, but I'm losing sleep over this. I want to get started.
So next phase was the cladding. All of this beautiful stuff here. And that actually I thought was going to be quite hard, but was a lot easier than I imagined it to be. They're 3 meter long strips of complete cladding. So felt, wood, felt, wood, felt, wood. This is a 3 meter long van. So really the task was holding it up, getting it straight, and then be able to screw in with our lovely brass washered screws, which I think you'll agree look absolutely mint. So that bit was, especially after the journey of the lights, was a lot smoother.
This bit felt like a walk in the park compared to the electronics. So the only difficult part about putting these kind of cladding panels up is Paul had to hold them awkwardly, and they were 3 meters by 60, so it's quite a lot for someone to hold in place while the other person has to screw arguably about 5 in along the way to make sure that it's supported and it's not just going to tear out. But Paul did a great job. See, teamwork makes the dream work, like I said before. Paul's getting stuffing while I'm getting all the rest of those screws in. Now, what you don't actually see on camera is when it comes to the final steps, the panels weren't exactly square. Now, it doesn't sound like a big issue, but in fact the actual issue was when we put our cabinets in, the line of the level of the cabinets wasn't square against the line of the cladding. So unfortunately we don't film it, but I had to unscrew all of these cladding pieces on the backs and just rotate them ever so slightly to be able to make sure that everything lined up and it looked right, because otherwise your eyes would be drawn to parallel lines not actually being parallel. Fair play to Paul, this was a big day for him because he had to hold up all these panels while I screwed them in. So credit to him, his arms were aching. He tried to prop himself up and it was awkward. There's such long pieces trying to hold it up and I couldn't hold it nearly as much as I needed to support it. So we muddled through, we worked it out, but I think you can agree that the results look pretty good. And arguably if anyone was going to do them themselves, this is the route that I would take. It's not too difficult. It actually works out cheaper in square meterage to traditional cladding from what I've worked out. Now, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I just think it looks great and it was easy to work with. Now, the difficulty is ending it.
no, this is where we're at. We've got this sexy curve happening across the top. The transition is actually really nice. So we'll put the next one on. We've got the space over there where the light switch is going to be. So that's going to be at the junction of these next two panels. But no, it's going on. It's going on pretty nice. I'm chuffed. You chuffed? Thumbs up. Thumbs up from the man himself. Here we go. Next one.
Then with having juggled two cabinets, one of which was too big, the other one was too small, we had issues with two of them. We were juggling working in this van with two massive boxes on pallets. So then came the final hurdles to actually be able to get this van working, attaching this stand here and getting in the cabinets, which, as you'll see, we got a very good stroke of luck, of which didn't want to be on camera. So unfortunately I didn't film as much as that as I should have done, but you'll get the gist. We'll do a run through of the van once we're up and running, because what we've got left, in fact, is only getting the flooring down, a few bits of trim and finishing, some siliconing in the edges of our countertops, and I guess putting the tools on the wall and shadow foaming into the cabinets. There's a few other small bits and pieces, but essentially we're operational as of now. It's a frosty morning, but it's an exciting day because one of my best friends has come back from Nicaragua after living there without warning, and he's a spearfisher, a diver, more importantly he's a boat builder and an incredible carpenter. So he is helping me get this van ready this weekend. Big shift. It's currently 6 AM and I'm on my way to go pick him up, run to his boat workshop, grab all the tools and the plinths he's made for our cabinets, pricking them up, bringing them back here and getting going. Oh, check this out. Frosty morning, people. Lovely.
Now, unfortunately, my mate didn't really want to be on camera, so I respected that. But essentially what he did is he made plinths pre-made in his workshop with some withdrawals, which we were able to mount the cabinets onto. They were mounted to the floor, and then we screwed the cabinets into the plinths alongside having the cabinets screwed into the back wall, so it was really secure.
So come and check us out. Go on our Google Maps page, check out our website BikeFix.cc. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also start booking yourself in.
Now, I hope you guys can agree that the result's pretty great. Considering we're not even finished, check this out.